Hello there and welcome to my guide on the new Asuran Arsenal Vault, which is located on Anachronia. First off, for the requirements, you'll need 108 thieving to enter, but sadly I do suggest you to instead have 114 thieving. This is to gain access to opening the safes within the area. However, this will be subject to change since they are looking into lowering the 114 requirement to the 108. And for some additional requirements, it will help to have the 99 Slayer cape, so you're able to teleport to Lenikia instead of running there, and or to have killed one Raksha so that you're actually able to teleport fairly close by. Throughout the dungeon, players will be able to loot a regular chest for 15 loot. There will also be an ornate chest which gives 25 loot per. And then lastly, there will be safes throughout the area. This gives 30 loot. Loot is very important because you will need a total of 500 before the game actually does end. Lastly, at the very end of the vault, there will be a rare chest. This takes an average of 33 up until 39 seconds of AFK while you are attempting to open this. Now, as for your setup, I do suggest players to have a Slayer cape in their inventory. This is mainly to teleport there, along with having sharks or better food, since you can take a good amount of damage if you do mess up quite a lot. Now, as for the armor, you are able to actually bring the full camouflage outfit that does increase your speed by a very little bit. You're gonna have the legendary 5-finger discount aura, but I do highly suggest players to actually have 120 thieving so you gain access to the cape, so that you lose 30% less loot when you do fail any obstacle. And of course, make sure to bring a Love of the Dwarves. Now, as for some invention perks, you are actually able to use the Death Ward, which reduces your damage taken the lower your health is, but these siege cannons, they can still 2-hit you, so you have to be very careful if you're a hardcore iron player. Now, it will also help to have the Shadow's Grace, which means you're able to surge and blade dive 50% faster since it does half the cooldown rates. And then of course you could use, I believe, the Inspire Effort Arc Relic for plus 2% more thieving rate. Now, as for the thieving rate, players are able to get a consistent 1.8 mil thieving XP per hour once you've gotten the hang of this, although your rates can vary if you're actually paying attention, since I do casual 11-minute games. Grab your Slayer cape, right click activate, hit option 2 to be teleported to Lenikia. From here, you want to go to the thieving icon located at the southeast. Now, if you don't have 99 Slayer, players are actually able to appear at the dungeon to the west of the Slayer Master if you do have a Raksha kill. However, that is a very long run. Once you are here, we will be speaking to Laeria, so speak to her. Hit option 4, what is this vault here? And she'll say that she is pretty much an archaeologist, and this is a reference to the Tomb Raider, which was back in 2001 with Angelina Jolie. Now that we have fully completed that little dialogue, we'll be in here. Activate your aura, grab all your stuff, and we'll be angling to the northwest a little bit, and we'll be hitting surge. Now, as of right now, I'm making this video. When you do pick lock it, the locked door, your bar will fill up, the door will be open, but you actually have to re-click that door to go through it. There will be an update in a week or two, and once the bar is fully filled up, your character will automatically do this. So it just depends on how long it does take them, since sometimes it could be a hot fix, it could be a cold fix, or it could be a game system update. We will be looting both of these chests so that we're able to get a code tablet. Now, I've done 50 times of keeping track of the chest. 37 times it is always in the south one, just in case for anyone that is going for some speed runs. Now, do not worry. If you do not get the code tablet, you're perfectly fine. Go north, you should see some system controls. Pull it, and we'll be going through the door. After you go through the door, you want to click on one tile southeast, and then we'll be blade diving to the west barrier in the middle, so that brings us right there. Then we will be going north. Make sure you're pretty much around here, and go southeast, surge, and we'll be going through this locked door. This one will be a little bit more tricky since you can't AFK it. You'll notice that there is purple lightning. All you want to do is click in the middle row and you'll be perfectly fine. This one is a little bit RNG based too. Sometimes it takes you forever to open this door. I have no idea why. It's just this door right here. Now, lock it this north chest. And luckily, well, not luckily, but I had bad RNG this time. Sometimes, like I did say earlier, you do get the code tablet. It's up to you if you want to loot all 3 of these chests. However, if you're going for the maximum points, you will have to loot all 3 of them regardless. Now we'll be activating the pylon to the south and go through the door from here. Surge, go to this barrier. Now, you want to be right here. Change your camera angle a little bit. If you're standing within the broken staircase, I'll zoom in a little bit so you could see. You will be perfectly fine to surge, and then we'll be pick locking this little chest. You could also blade dive. It just depends on your little preference and the cooldowns if you're actually going fast instead of showing step by step on where to go. Now, since I've done this a lot, I actually know where all of the chests and all the items are. Now, if it is your first couple times, you are able to right click the minimap and hit the high contrast mode, and this will interact, well, all the little blue icons will be the interactable sceneries that you're able to interact with, but it's kind of an off-putting scene, so just right click it to get normal. Now let's pretend I actually looted this chest quite fast. You want to hit the escape, and then boom, you're perfectly fine. Now comes the fun part. Well, not fun, but this is one of the 2 spots that a lot of players have the most problems in, and the first one would be this siege cannon right here. Once it ends, you want to click and we'll be perfectly fine. Now don't worry about the siege cannon to the south of us, as this is technically a safe spot. This next part is very, very painful, but it pretty much depends on your PID. Once the first siege cannon, the little fireball, is very close to your character, like pretty much directly dead north, you want to then click on the tile, like all the way to the back row. But do keep an eye on the projection. So, for example, once the fireball is in the middle right here, you click, and you should path correctly. If your PID was a little bit off, you will get hit by the second cannon, but do not worry. All the other cannonballs will not hit you. Once we're here, go west. Just like before, for these cannonballs, well, the first day of release, it was a safe spot technically. So you want to wait until the first 2 hit the wall, then you'll be fine. Now from here, go south, and this is the other difficult part that a lot of players have problems with, and it's the same exact thing. It's the pitting that pretty much RNG. So you want to make sure that the 3rd siege cannon, the cannonball that is closest to you, once it gets right at the display tank, then that is when you want to click on the lectern. So right here, you click it, and it will not hit you, even though, yes, it does. But that is because players walk 1 tile a game tick. For anyone that is moving, you actually run every other tile. So since you're walking, you line up perfectly that you're always in between them. That is how the game tick works with pathing. Now from here, you just want to surge. You should be in this little safe spot right here. Blade dive to this corner, and then just surge, and then voila. Now we're coming up to a safe, and this one, you want to hit edit layout mode, advanced settings, move this to the side. We'll be looking for, where is it? Info box. This bad boy, by default, no matter when you make a new account, it is always deadlocked in the middle, and this is the most annoying thing in the world. And that's because when you open a safe, you will notice where your character is. It will say 1 out of 4 and then 2 out of 4. This is extremely annoying simply because it is a tiny area box, but because of the exact area that is on your screen, the safe will always be blocking it with that little pop-up, so you can never see if it highlights that. I really wish they made it like in your chat box, but then it could be like a little spam. Now once you're here, you can go through this crevice and we'll be opening up this ornate chest. Normal chest gives you 15 loot. The ornate chest gives you 25 loot, and loot is added to your stolen goods bag, where you will need a minimum of 380 before you actually go to the very last room. From here, we'll be going to the electricity room. This one's fairly easy. You want to look at the burnt spots, and there will be a lightning current traveling counterclockwise, so it's very simple to move. You just want to step out from that tile. Once you have looted this one, we'll be going to the safe, and it's this whole room. All the chests are lined up perfectly, so you do need to keep an eye on that. So right here, let's loot this safe now. Once you have done that, we'll be looting both the ornate chest and the regular chest. However, just to make this guide as quick as possible, I'll be skipping those two, but let's pretend I did that. Now we want to click on the strange conduit from this tile. That's because usually if you do click it, it will always path you on the little lightning strike. So it's easier to just manually click to the least of it. From here, you will be going to this room. There is another safe through this crevice. You want to pickpocket that one. There is another chest on the south wall. This one is a little bit hard on release. A lot of players did not even see this. You just want to loot this one. Now, once you have looted this, you want to stand right here, angle your character so he's northwest of you, surge, and voila, you're perfectly fine. Now you want to go north from here. Once you're in this corner, you want to blade dive southwest, and voila, there is another chest right here for you to loot. But let's pretend, oh wow, I got 4 out of 4. Now we open that. You want to click on the strange conduit. Now let's go north, surge, run around here, blade dive southeast, and now we just want to go north, and you should see rubble. But you could stand right here between the boxes, angle your camera southwest, surge, and then climb through this rubble. From here, go south, climb the handholds, surge again, open this chest. Once you have opened this chest, you're able to picklock at this door right here, where there will be a little tight room with 4 siege cannons. So we'll be looting this one. Once you have opened that, all you want to do is surge, and you want to open the safe as normal. Now, I will be waiting 7 seconds simply because once our cooldown is done, we will instead escape. So escape and then immediately click on the door. Although yes, you could blade dive back to it, but so like let's say escape, click fast, and voila, you're perfectly fine. Go back down the floor, pickpocket this door with a single siege cannon to the north of you. Oh man, these really do take a while. Jeez. Ooh, there we go. Now you want to run this past cannon, and then we'll be blade diving to this ornate chest. And just like before, you're mainly doing this to wait for that blade dive to be off cooldown, since you're not able to go north or south of you, so you pretty much have to go diagonal. Now that our blade dive is off cooldown, we want to make our way just like that, wait for the can to shoot, go through the door, climb through the rubble, and here, if you hover over your stolen loot, your stolen loot should be 380 or higher, but mine's only 285, so just pretend I opened up every single chest that I did show. For here, you should see a little rock. You want to stand 1 tile west of it, but make sure your character is actually facing east, and then you want to Surge and Blade Dive in the same click, and you'll be perfectly fine. Now that our stolen loot is 380, this means we can loot both the ornate chest on this wall, and we're also able to open this safe, and then we'll be able to open this rare chest, which I really hope they buff this rate. I have noticed an aura, it saves about 5 seconds, but sometimes it ranges from 27 seconds to open this to 41 seconds. And since it's a huge range, I've noticed sometimes without an aura, I'm actually 5 to 7 seconds faster than on average what I am with using an aura, which, I mean, I kind of wish they did something a little bit quicker so you're able to do it. But I do get, since this is a high intensity, that they wanted some AFK cooldowns in a sense. I just wish it was like a flat, consistent rate. Now, once you have finally looted this chest, your stolen loot should max out at 500. For this, you want to hit option 1 for yes to leave this area. And voila, that is the whole vault for this one. I have noticed once you get higher tier of points, you actually start getting the Arbok seeds and the Guam seeds. The lower your points, it kind of removes that for whatever reason. Now, as for the drop table, it's actually very good, and this is players are able to get the Varanus mercenary weapon that is pretty much like an upgraded DDS. Instead of 2 hits, it will do 3. This bad boy is actually a tier 90 melee main hand weapon, and it can be augmented. And I wish it had like a passive effect or something, because they've been doing a lot of weird stuff with melee lately where you always have to swap to your main hand for whatever reason. And then lastly, they do have the Nodon Spike Harness. This is actually, I guess, kind of an upgrade to armor spikes, but you have to keep having low health to actually maintain the maximum bonus effect. For example, let's say your health is actually below 60%, you will, instead of getting 65% damage from your armor spikes, it will actually be increased to 115%. But melee is yet again in another horrible spot, because if you use the Berserker aura, the Berserk ability, you will be taking so much extra damage that your health will always be pretty much low, which is, yes, good, but melee is always has been a glass cannon. You have the best in slot DPS, but you're pretty much wearing bronze armor. It's just, it would be nice if they did rework the Sunshine and Death Swiftness ability for you to take 50% increased damage from there as well. Thank you all so much for watching this, and enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment down below any video suggestions or questions you have, and I will try to answer them. And enjoy the rest of your day.